How you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
And what is your name?
Ella M. Terry.
Ella?
Uh-huh.
Can you tell them how old you are?
I'm 90 years old.
And you still get around like a
Good.
spring chicken, right?
Yep. Still drive.
So what do you think of, well, how long have you known me?
I'll tell you.
How long?
I know, but I don't know exactly that how many years it's
I'd
been.
say you've known me at least probably maybe 7, 8, 10 years.
Could have been.
Because I've sold you a lot of stuff in the
Yeah, you
past
have.
that you really liked and was collectible to you. And didn't charge you a high price, did I?
No.
Try to sell it reasonably and as I can sell it to you. But what did you think about Firecracker Dan, and how did you learn that I actually publish books that I write?
Read it on Facebook.
And were you kind of surprised?
Really surprised.
So you didn't know that was the one that you had known all them years at all, did you?
No, I sure didn't.
But I see that you bought some of the books today, which you wanted me to bring them down to you, which I did. And this one's that you bought here is titled Silence Winter Storm. And you want to hold it to where the folks can see it? Yep, that could be one of your favorite books, but I know all of them may be your favorites. And are you going to get out and try to buy some things maybe and go out and to the markets this summer like you always have been?
Yes, as long as I'm able to get around.
That's the best time to get out and just have fun, isn't it?
Right.
And I remember last fall I was down there at Quick Stop and I bought that whole building out for a few days. And you was pretty nice to me. I mean, you fixed me soup, beans, and cornbread. I remember you bringing it down that evening.
Right.
And another thing, what else did you bring down? You remember the next day?
What did I?
Potato soup.
What?
Potato soup. Potato soup.
It was potato soup, wasn't it?
I guess I can't remember
Yeah.
really what it was.
And then you told me a minute ago that, which I didn't know, that you've got a sister that's probably 1 year older than you.
No, 2 years.
2 years. So that makes her what, 92?
She'll be 93, and I'll be 91.
91 and 93. Is she gonna go to vacation in Florida or somewhere?
Yeah.
She lives down there herself. She's lost her husband last year.
Oh, that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, he worked at the fire department for years in Georgia up there. Everybody in Montgomery County knew him.
Yeah. And fire department, where did he work at the fire department at?
Camargo.
Camargo, right here in town, right?
He started in Master, and then when they fixed the fire department in Camargo, he changed that here.
Did he work a long time with the fire department in Camargo and Mount Sterling?
Long time. I'd say 25 years or more.
Now, when you were young and you were going to school, what type of school did you go to back then?
A little two-room school.
Little.
At that time, we lived at the side view on the other side of Master. And it was a two-room school, and we lived over up a hill. We walked to school every day.
So how far was school? Not very far, was it?
Wasn't very far.
And did y'all have a lot of good textbooks back then, or?
Not really.
So if you had a book, it's kind of special, wasn't it?
Yep. Sometimes you had to share them.
Yeah, it's called the rarity of them back then. And you know, a few years back, it took a long time just to write and have a book published, because it took a long time to use a metal print to get them printed out. And
Things sure has changed since then.
yeah, and I guess it's changed from the old country store to what they call the dollar stores now, aren't it?
Yeah.
And a feller asked, I was watching biography a minute ago and brought up the dollar stores, and he asked the question, how many dollar stores are there in the world now? I have no idea, do you?
No.
But I know there's a bunch of them just in this little old surrounding district we have now. And I can count probably within 20 miles, I can count at least $20 stores probably. But I don't think the dollar stores ever put Walmart out of business, will they?
No, I don't think so.
I don't see how they could, do you? Because Walmart's got what they call green stores now. And their little stores just like the dollar stores got. And I know dollar stores is going all grocery too. So they've changed a lot. But yeah, like you said, in 90 years, things has really changed.
Yeah, 'cause here, no, you can go out.
Pretty nice little dog, too. But I want to thank you for talking to me. And I'll put this up on YouTube at a channel called Firecracker Danland. And then you can watch your movie.
Okay, I bet it'd be terrible.
No, it won't be terrible. It's going to be perfect, and
Like
it's going
I
to
said,
be.
times has changed. So when I started working, I worked for 50 cents an hour.
Well, what'd you do for 50 cents an hour? What type of work was it?
Cut little trees off the man's land.
Is
Little
that right?
Trees like that.
Little Sprout, you was reclaiming the land, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. And he
But
cut
I've had a good life. I can't complain. If I die tonight, I can't say. Had good parents. Daddy, we worked. He farmed, but he worked. You know, we worked. But if we was out in the field doing something, decided to run off and play for a while, Daddy never fussed at us. We'd be stripping tobacco and be a snow on the ground. Us kids would say, I bet I can roll you in the snow. Out of the stripping room we would go, and I can see my daddy leaning up in the door looking out at us. He never said, get back in the strip room, you know, like some people do. So I had good parents, can't complain.
Yeah, you couldn't have had no better father than that, could you?
Uh-uh.
And what did Mother do?
Well, she kept us food and kept the house up. But when she had the housework done, she'd come to the stripping room. We'd eat even popcorn, or she'd make soup. We'd heat on the stove. We had a good life.
And that good life led, I guess, to being an older age person.
Yeah.
And when you have a good life, a good healthy food all the time and stuff, you're going to live a lot longer than some of these other folks.
We had our 3 meals a day. I shouldn't tell this, but my daddy carried me out of bed every morning till I was 13 years old. My mother took a wash rag and washed my face and hands and buttered my bread and put it on a plate in front of me.
Well, that was good, wasn't it? I know that buttered bread was good back then, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And they probably made their own meal and flour, didn't they?
Yeah, I lost my daddy in December and mother in May. 5 months and 6 days of each other.
Of each other. That was sad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what was your first vehicle that you bought, your automobile or your truck?
I believe that it was a little Crosley truck. It wasn't very big.
What color was it?
Well, it was two-tone green.
Two-tone green. Did you ever take your boyfriend a ride in it?
Well, I tell you what, we'd go to town on Sunday, that ride around, and it was a truck. And before I'd get through town, I'd have a whole truckload of people riding up in the back of the truck.
Is that right?
And I couldn't very well park, and if I was going to park, there was enough of them, they picked it up and set it over in the parking space.
That was pretty good. I bet you wish you still had that Crosley
Oh, I
pickup
do.
truck, don't
I
you?
sure do.
And probably had dirt roads way back, didn't you?
They were, I don't know what Daddy gave for it, but he started us all out. I said with a cow and when we got married, he started us out with a cow and a car. Every one of us.
And that cow furnished a lot of good milk, I hope. I hope it's a milk cow.
I said, people laughed at that, but you know, 'cause it was a cow and a truck or a car or whatever. But that's the way he did it. And at Christmas time, when they bought for us kids, even after we got grown, they always bought my brother's shoes. He loved shoes. And she'd get us girls a dress. But if there was 2 cents or 3 cents or 50 cents difference, she put that in our gift. So if we all have equal amount.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Oh, I had a good luck. I sit here and tell you all kinds of stories.
Yeah, and that's where you get your good stories from people that actually live what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's where you find them at. And maybe one day we'll write those old stories down and put them in a book, you and I.
Okay.
We can put those stories in a book just same as we can any other, can't we?
Yeah.
And you say you noticed Firecracker Dan on the internet for a while,
Okay.
but you didn't know who was behind him.
No.
And you come to
Well-
find out that you know the person who created him.
Well, I just found this out since October Court Day that you wrote books and things. When you put it on Facebook, I had to see. I don't guess I was friends with you. The reason I didn't know that.
Yep, I should have told you a long time ago, I guess. But that's okay. You know it now.
I just thought y'all were people, friends that I had set up at the flea market. That's when I said anything about y'all. If I had bought something and somebody asked me where I got it, I would say my friends at the flea market.
And we actually try to have good stuff too. We don't have cheap stuff down there, do we?
No,
We try to have the good so you can really enjoy what you get.
it's true.
And like I said, I've got so much stuff, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think we got several buildings full of it now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I better
And-
clean out my house because
Well, your house looks great.
it's piled up back to there where it's about to straighten up. What my son wanted me to do, because he's the only, one that was to go through my stuff and give everybody what I want them to have. And he said, and of course, I might outlive him because he has cancer.
Uh,
That way, when something happened to me, when he divided it, give him what he wanted. He said, they'd say, well, I wanted this and I wanted that, and you give this. He said, that way wouldn't be no hard feelings. So that's what I've been doing.
yep, and they should never be any hard feelings, should they?
That's
And
what he
it's
says.
good that you are doing it like that. And
But it's had my house tore up.
yeah, and I know that you have more than one Christmas tree too.
Yeah.
And you keep them up all year round. And I think one of them's loaded with artificial fruits.
There's one in the dining room.
And it's very beautiful, isn't it? And all your trees are beautiful because I've seen them in the past. And I think that you actually care for a lot of your family with your birds, right?
Right.
So how many birds you got?
I'm back down to about 25 now.
25 birds, and you clean their cages out pretty well every day, probably.
I clean them every cage by having today.
You haven't today? Well, I knocked you out of it. So, yeah, it's been good talking to you again, and I'm going to let you go
Good
for
talking
now.
to you and find out more about you.
Oh, that's great to find out more about me, and I kind of keep it hid, don't
Yeah, you did.
I? But I guess I don't need to do that. But now you know I do other things other than sitting down there and try to sell some type of a trinket. But I've got some trinkets I won't sell, and I need to show them to you sometime probably. But thank you very much.
You're welcome.